Kia ora everybody. Ron is my name. You'll probably see me in the Zoom. Alpha 1331, that's my ID in there. So, ngā kia koe, Stephen, I appreciate your presentation. Ngā mihi to everybody here on this call. I guess I'm the new guy on the block, 7 days young. But I want to thank my upline, Matty. Matty's known my journey in the last 7 days, and he knows it very well. But I'll just share something brief, not to take up valuable time or space. I'm effectively from the building construction development industry. I manage multinational projects and developments, done that pretty well much all my life. I'm also a registered industrial relations consultant, so I arbitrate and represent people in major tribunal hearings and places like that. But when COVID hit, it changed the dynamics because it restricted my travel overseas. So I needed to go looking, and I needed to perhaps reinvent myself, whereby I could use my skill sets that could best serve me and my family. So that was it. So, and we will all find that gateway to take us to where we want to. So in my case, I decided to cut myself 100% away from social media, totally. And I went searching, but I went searching for my answers biblically through the Bible. And I started searching for the principles. And I needed to develop and find out the principles to a lot of things. Part of my journey is 4 or 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with atrial fibrillation, which is an irregular heartbeat. And that basically became the where I needed to start a new direction because of health. And so just to bring you right forward, I went plant-based. It reversed everything in terms of my heart, my health, and everything else. I'm no longer reliant on medications, things like that. And so I was at that point of, because of COVID, needed to reinvent and find something until Matty came along. And so I had already done a lot of searching in terms of developing and knowing those principles. And I guess in 7 days, it might not mean much, but I can tell you there have been milestone achievements in those 7 days. And I'll share it with you. One of the first things that I determined initially was that if I was going to get into it, I was going to get into all in. And that if I was going to get into it, I needed to become 100% committed. It wasn't going to be something that I was going to dabble with. I had to, I determined in myself that it wasn't suffice for me just to know a bit of this and that. I was on a journey for personal development, not just to succeed, but be very excellent and disciplined. And I wanted that to play out in my working from the ground up. So part of that discipline was I set little milestone goals that I would attend meetings every day for the next 90 days. No ifs, no buts, I needed to do that. That was part of little milestones. And I know a lot of people because of the industry I've been involved in for a number of years. I'm 63 years of age, but it's only a number. And so part of my journey was to develop those disciplines and be consistent at it. And 2 days ago, I think, maybe 3 days ago, I was ready to go and blast the world. And then Matty says to me, "Bro, why don't we hook you up with Stephen?" And I tell you, it was a blessing because it took me out of the preconceived mindset that I used to be. And when I listened to Stephen and listened to the fundamentals of what he was saying, it caused me to make an adjustment in my understanding of this. And by that, I meant I was at that point, and honestly, people, I would have been burning leads like there's no tomorrow. And so what it meant is I fell back and I understood that there was a system and I needed to find the blueprint to the system so that it can be duplicatable and so that it can become teachable. And so I took all the advice of that and I followed that pathway religiously. And so, because I was of the mindset of presenting it in its entirety myself, but after talking to Steve, that wasn't the blueprint. So I had to make that tweak and that adjustment. So I did. And so what I did is I started to talk to my war market, etc., and tell them what I'm into, and I wanted them to partnership with me, and that I'm going to send them some information. Effectively, that was it. And so I said, well, okay, it's got to be things. So what I did is I sent what I felt was I sent 3 videos, the 3-minute videos to them, and I said, I just need you to watch it 2 or 3 times. I'm going to come back and talk to you, but when I come and talk, I'm going to talk to you about the social proof aspect. And from that social proof aspect is come along with me and we'll go together to a meeting. And so I've had 100% strike rate on that. So I'm bringing people in tonight. Now, why am I'm excited about this because I got up this morning and I saw something about the directors in the meeting. So I watched it and if Sione's on here, well, praise the Lord for you, Sione, because I watched it off your group. But then underneath that, I saw these things like the guides in terms of presentations and things. So I tapped into it, and lo and behold, there's this thing called the 45-second introduction, and I go, well, and then everything started to resonate with me. I didn't even know those things existed, but it clearly showed me I was on the right track of duplicating a system that can become teachable. And they were fundamentals that I needed to know. And then I started to get aha moments. So I'm at the place now where I can bring them in, work the system, let the presenter present it, and then I do the follow-up with someone like Stephen, my upline, Maddie and Jackie, and things like that. So there are small milestones, but they are building the foundation so that I have depth and knowledge and understand of the fundamentals, growing up and building things. And I don't normally would come on, but I feel I'm growing part of the family, and I'm excited in having those sort of little victories, if you like. But I just want to be excellent at what I do, master it, talk to people, share with people, because the environment out there has certainly changed, and people are certainly looking for answers. And if you can present and direct them, build racial relationship with them, and be able to teach them a system that's duplicatable and teachable, then you find yourself in a situation, repeat. And you know, it's a marvelous thing what Crowd One has done. As I shared with Stephen the other day, one of the things that really ticked the big box with me was the Alexia ranking. That was a huge tick over the box for me in terms of where this is in relationship to where same time, let's say with Facebook and things like that, and its membership and growth. So you can see where this is all going. You've got to be a part of the journey, and you're treated like a real business, because it is. It's a business, a real business. And, you know, and I'm constantly talking to Maddie every day and staying plugged in. But small milestones now, but I start to work the system and start build ranking from there. And For now, it's been about discipline, follow the system. Now we've got the people, they've seen it, now I can get into the meetings, and now we can build a real business. So yeah, so that's my story. So I'm humbled and privileged. Very blessed to hear the story from Noel and Robin, and of course Maddie. I told Maddie, no, brother, I'm quite happy just to sit there, 10 meetings, take notes, and but just know that there's a lot of things in my world that's going on. To be teachable, to be duplicatable, to be able to share the vision. I'm writing a book as well. It's my journey to presidency, and all the fundamentals and the blueprints and the things that I go through are going to be noted in that. So they're just milestones, but that's where I'm starting. So privileged, honoured, and blessed to be a part of your family. And I'm enjoying the value that these meetings does for people. And if you attend them, you will grow knowledgeable in those things. So, thank you for your time, Stephen, everybody, and great to be a part of your family. That's me. Kia ora.
Welcome.